I'm practicing real quick.
Okay, well, now I'll start recording. Now I got that.
Practicing real quick.
I like outtakes.
Hi guys, I'm Katie with Townline, and we are so excited to get started on our broiler project. Today we are going to talk about basic brooder setup, behaviors to watch for once you have started your chicks, and kind of the proper way to start them. It is important to take into consideration where you are going to build your brooder, your baby chick's home, when you're starting out. Preferably, you would want your brooder in an outbuilding that has access to electricity for your heat lamp. If that is not available, you can start chicks in a garage, but most importantly, do not raise baby chicks in your house. It is not safe for the chicks or for your family. So there are certain brooder equipment that makes building your brooder much easier. You need a heat source of some sort. There are different types, but the safest would most likely be a heat lamp that uses a red light bulb, such as this. And again, depending on the quantity of chicks that you are starting, you may need more than one heat lamp. When you're starting off, 50 chicks in our 12 square feet, typically for the one heat lamp is sufficient, so long as that your temperature, your thermometer is reading at 95 degrees under the light at around chick height. As they grow, and we'll go into this as we check in on them every week with you guys, the temperature needs to be decreased by 5 degrees each week as they grow. You do that until about week 5 or 6, or until the chicks are feathered out. Depending on the weather in your area, they may no longer need a heat source after that. But the larger the area that you have, the more heat lamps you would want. So if we were doing 100 chicks, and this was double the size, we would likely have 2 heat lamps to ensure that there's sufficient heat for the quantity of chicks in the brooder. So there are very specific behaviors to watch for, especially in the first week of having chicks, that can indicate improper setup. When you start your chicks, you can tell if they are comfortable by how they are acting. They should be walking around, they should be finding the food and water. If they begin to huddle underneath your heat source, you know that you have your brooder set up too cold. They are trying to get warm. So you can lower your heat lamp until the temperature reads on your thermometer at the proper temperature, 95 degrees for the first week of starting baby chicks. If they are spread out very far, against the walls, then they are too hot and they are trying to get away from that heat source. So you want to make sure that they just seem comfortable. They're walking around, they go to the heat source if they feel cold, but that they can get to the feed and water without getting too far away from their heat source. Another behavior you'll want to look for, especially once you've just received them, and especially if they've been shipped through the mail, travel can cause a bit of stress on day-old chicks. Again, dehydration and temperature is going to be key. So when you receive your chicks, check their activity level. Are they peeping, but not too excessively? Or are they lethargic or weak seeming? Those can be indications that they have gotten a little too stressed. One thing that we do recommend, especially if the chicks are being shipped through the mail, is when you are placing them in the brooder, dip their beaks in the water. Show them where that water source is. And they tend to follow each other around, so you don't have to do every chick specifically. If you were to receive chicks that seemed a little lethargic or weak, you can also add about a teaspoon of sugar per gallon of water. A little bit of sugar water, just like for us, perks you up, gets you going, helps you get to your feed better, and just kind of overcome the weakness. You want to make sure you're placing the waterers at a distance from the heat source that is comfortable for the chicks. If the chicks are too hot and your water is too close to the heat source, they're not going to go to the water. If your feed and water is too far away from the heat source and your chicks are chilled, they will not need the heat to go eat or drink, which is obviously not going to end up very successful. We have placed our chicks in the brooder that we built. And what is a brooder? Basically, a brooder, by definition, it is a heated structure used to raise chickens or other fowl. Different types of poultry require different types of feed, depending on what the chicks are for. So since we have meat birds, we are putting them on a broiler starter feed that has a higher percentage protein feed to accommodate their fast-growing bodies. The next thing is going to be proper bedding. Bedding is so important for chicks. It helps with litter management. Proper bedding will ensure that their legs do not get injured. The most preferred bedding is going to be pine shavings. It's nice and absorbent for the litter and provides a nice soft floor for them. You do not want to use sawdust. That can be dangerous for them if it gets mixed in their feed and they eat too much of it. And newspaper is probably the worst. It's much too slippery and their legs will have a hard time developing properly on newspaper. You also want to make sure that you have sufficient space for the amount of chicks that you have. We start at 50 meat birds, and you want to have about a 1/4 square foot per chick that you are starting. So we have roughly a 3x4 area here, so about 12 square feet for our 50 chicks. It's about a 1/4 square foot per chick. As they grow, you will have to allow for more room until once they are full grown, you would need about 1 square foot per bird. There are several different feeders to choose from when you're shopping for brooder supplies. The most important thing you want to make sure when you're picking out a feeder for baby chicks is that it is low enough that they can get at, that there is sufficient space for the amount of chicks that you have to get at the feed. If you do not have enough feeder space for the amount of chicks you have, the weak, smaller ones will have a hard time getting to the feed at all. So we're going to be checking on our birds every week through the 8-week project for our broilers. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to tune in each week as we watch our broilers grow. If there's anything you think we didn't cover, or if you have any other questions or want some more details, let us know in the comments and we will make sure we get you answered. Other than that, we will see you next week.